Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. I'm going to go ahead and take off my lanyard so it's not making noise. And this week we are talking about value, and we're also talking about form. This project we're going to focus on value, and what you will need is a piece of paper. I'm going to move my laptop out of the way. You want a pencil and an eraser, definitely Art Tool Basics. And then I'm using colored pencils, and I need a pencil sharpener for them. I would suggest colored pencils for this project just because they are the easiest to build up value with. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw our own potted plant, and we're going to add value to the potted plant, and we're also going to add value to the leaves on our plant. So what we want to do is we want to first start with drawing our potted plant. And I'm going to do one that's kind of stout and round. So first we want to start out with the lid of it. And I like to make it right towards the middle, maybe a little bit below. And what you want to draw is a long, flat oval. Like that. And now I'm going to add another line around it. So now we have where our plant is going to come out of, and we want to draw the rest of our pot. What I like to do is I like to do two lines going down the side that are rounded and then kind of flatten out towards the bottom. Like that. So almost like a big U. So now we have our pot, and I want to draw two lines out the side for our table, so it can be sitting on a table. And because we're talking about value, I want to add a shadow to this so it looks like it's more 3D. And to do that, I'm going to add two curved lines down here to the side, almost like the shadows right here. So I'm going to make one round line, like the edge of my pot, and then coming out from about the middle, I'm going to make another round line. So whenever I color in my table, I'm going to do this normal, and then I'm going to press extra hard right here. I want to create a value scale in here, so I'm going to draw three different lines. I'm going to draw a round line to the side, another round line to the side, and then a line down the middle. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas that I can add my lightest to my darkest value. So now our last step is going to be drawing our plant. And I'm actually not going to draw the leaves on yet. I'm going to add them later whenever I'm working with the value, because I want to have some light, medium, and dark leaves. But I do want to draw the general shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the stems that all of my different leaves would grow on. You can do this however you would like in any sort of direction. But what I start out with is some thin lines, and then I'm going to draw my leaves onto there. So I'm going to start out with one right here in the middle. And then I'm going to come down like that. And then I can add more to the side. And I could even draw some going off of here. Like that. Maybe we'll add one right here. And maybe we'll add one here to the side. Coming down, and then a bigger one. So then I can add my leaves all along these different stems that I made. I can go back and add some lines for some texture, because this is going to be soil where our plant is growing out of. So now we have it drawn. We made our flat oval and then added another line around it for the lid. We made the big flat U, almost like going round and then flat. Then we added 3 lines, 2 curved and 1 down the middle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas I can add value to. We added our table, and then we added a shadow, And then we just did the vines for our plant. So what you want to do now is you want to start coloring this in. And I like to start with this, coloring it in light green, getting this all colored in brown in my table as well. And if we flip it over, that's what I have on this side. You can see I colored in my table like normal. I colored in my area that was my shadow darker. I got this colored in, and then I got these colored in. So now what I want to focus on is getting 4 different values in here and coloring this little ring as well. So first you want to pick the color that you want to make your pot. I think I'm going to do mine, and it doesn't matter which color you use because we're going to be able to make it lighter or darker depending on the pressure that we're applying. It's brown, that's kind of boring. Maybe I should have done this before. Okay, I'm going to use this teal. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with just my medium tone, which I'm going to put right here, because I'm going to layer this back tone with some black to make it even darker. So right in here, in my second area, I'm going to color this in, not pressing too hard, but also not pressing too light. I'm just going to press like I normally would to color it in. The closer you hold your pencil to the tip, the more pressure you will apply. The farther away you hold it, the less pressure you're going to apply to it, so it'll be lighter. And then I want to stay inside this little area. So I'm going to get this colored in with this medium tone, and then we're going to come back for our lighter, darker, and darkest. So now for my lightest, I am pressing super light. I'm barely pressing down, and I'm holding my pencil farther away, so I'm applying less pressure to it. I'm going to go around so I can get this all colored in. So now we have our lightest and our medium. So now what I'm going to do for this area is I want to make it darker than both of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the hardest in this area as well, but I'm also going to layer some black on this one so it's even darker, because you can layer colored pencils, I think, a lot easier than you can layer crowns or markers, and we want to get these different values. So now for this area, I'm going to press harder than I did for this one, so it'll be darker. I'm going to apply more pressure. So it's still the same color, it's just how hard I'm pressing down that changes the value of it. So I'm going to go through and get this colored in dark and this one as well, and then I'm going to show you guys how you can layer on a darker color to make it an even darker value. A light, a medium, a dark, and we're going to make this extra dark. So I colored these both using the hardest pressure. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and layer on a light shading of black onto this last one to make it just a little bit darker, if you can see. I'm not going to press too hard because I don't want to lose that teal color, but it's going to add some shadow onto it, which is always an option to darken up a color by layering on other colors. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my lid, or my lip, I guess, of my pot colored in, and then we're going to color in our leaves, and we're going to do light, medium, and dark for them. And I'm going to show you the process for that. So I'm going to get this colored in, and then we can start adding on our leaves. All right, so we're going to start adding in our leaves. And what I like to do is I like to layer them. So I like to add a bunch of light, and then a bunch of medium, and then a bunch of dark. So to create the shape of our leaves, we're just going to do them going along all of these different stems that I drew earlier. And I like to draw almost like a lemon shape. And that's what I like to do. So I'm going to go through and add some in. And then I'm going to color in these light. And then once I get done coloring in all of my light, using the same color, I'm going to draw more leaves. And I'm going to layer on some medium. And then for my last step, I'm going to layer on some dark. So I'm just going around and just kind of adding them wherever. These are all going to be my light ones. And then I'm going to follow the same step for my medium, and the only thing I'm going to change is how hard I'm pressing down my colored pencil whenever I'm coloring them in. So I'm going to color all of these in lightly using the lightest pressure. And then the next batch I'll do medium, and then the last set I'm going to do dark. So I can hold back even farther, and that makes it to where I can draw even lighter because I'm applying less pressure. I'm going to go through and get all of my light ones colored in, and then we're going to do our mediums, and then we're going to finish with our darks. Right, so I got all my light ones colored in, and I went ahead and drew in my medium ones, and it's okay if it overlaps the other ones because this one is going to be darker, and that's okay. And then I am going to press like how I normally would, not trying to draw lightly, but also not trying to press super hard. Just getting them all colored in, and if you can see, they're a bit darker than my light ones. And then our last step is going to be drawing in our darkest. Because it's the darkest, it can overlap everything else and still look like it makes sense. So I'm going to go through and get these all colored in medium because I just got done with my light ones. And then I'm going to draw my leaves for my dark and get those colored in. But I'm probably going to check in before I get to that final step. So I have my lights and I have my mediums, and I went ahead and drew some of them overlapping my last leaves, and I'm going to press the hardest on these so they are the darkest. So we'll have a light, medium, and dark value. So you can see the darkest, the lightest behind it, and then medium right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get these all colored in, and then we will be finished. All right, so I just got done, and this is all finished. We have our different values down here. We have our shadow, we have our values in our plant. I'm going to hold it down here at the bottom next to me. If you want to color in your white background or whatever background you have, that's definitely up to you. I think I'm going to leave mine white just because I think it looks nice with the greens. And yeah, I'm excited to see how your guys' projects come out. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Bye!